Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another fantastic mod where you can see right next to me, and well, if you have not seen it already on the Steam Workshop page, this thing is called the Grapple Hook, which is a in-development mod which does exactly what it says on the tin. The only thing this mod currently does not do is act like a proper turret, so if you say plant these around your base, and an enemy flies nearby, they will not automatically target them, they will not automatically shoot them, it's purely manual firepower, but still, it's a lot of fun. But yes, once you've added this in through the mod menu, you need no other mods, it's just a singular thing that you just have to add, then away you go. You press G, you type in Grapple Hook, and there it is if you can spell correctly. So this thing costs 20 computers, 30 motors, 40 large steel tubes, 50 metal grids, 300 construction components, and 550 steel plates. It's not too bad at the end of the day, but might take you a fair bit of time at the start of Survival mode to be able to build up those metal grids or large steel tubes. But without further ado, I'm just going to go and show you a quick demonstration before we go into the meat of this thing, then afterwards we'll have a proper look at this, then we'll go and test out a bit more. So grabbing hold of my character, coming over this little platform that I created, where I've got a little seat, some reactors, and there's a grab hook right there, aiming ominously at the character standing there. Anyway, into the seats, coming into here, we can now target, say, over at that Dex fighter, we mouse click it like a regular gun, then a black line shoots out of it, and well, now I'm fully attached. If we were to come into a free camera view, over to here, that's simply what it looks like from a distance, a big, thick black line that goes across to your target. Now, as for that, you are fully connected up, that ship can no longer escape unless it destroys the turret, or you detach the hook through the control menu, or from the cockpit. So with my character once again hopping out of this, coming over to the ship, here we go, all the way across, into the cockpit, and now this is what it looks like from this point of view, so there's a black line, we come all the way down, and all the way up. But I also try and drive this thing around, as you can see there, it will not let me drive this thing away. I'm fully attached onto this grid. If that grid was loose, I'd be able to drag it around, and just fling it around like a little flail. No, as it stands, the ship is now fully stuck, and that counts for any old ship, any old land vehicle, or even player that gets attached by this hook. Anyway, hopping out of this, coming back over to the little platform. Here we go. And I get into here and press number 3 or number 4. What this is going to do is we're going to tighten or loosen the line. So once we press number 3, what's going to happen is the line is going to go taut, and it's now going to drag in the Dex fighter towards the station to eventually collide with it. That's what it looks like from a distance. And of course, if I want to, I can now speed this up and make it come a lot quicker. Then I can press number 4 to loosen the line, and now it can fly a good distance away. And if I want to, I can now press number 2 to fully detach the line. It completely vanishes into thin air, and that ship is free to go on its merry way. And there we are, that's all this thing does. Here's for another little demonstration, back into here, and I'm just shooting across over to this large ship in the background. And away goes that black line. So this thing seems to have basically infinite range, or it seems like as long as you can see the target, you can't attach the line up. So to look over in this direction, I set up a little platform, and I can fully attach the line over to that. Yes, over here I'm now attached onto that ship. If I want to, I can now start reeling it in. But of course that ship is now connected onto the ground, because as you can see up there, put a grapple hook on the front for a demonstration later on. But that's now fully attached onto the ground, so if I try and pull this in, it's going to get to a point where both those lines are going to start fighting over the ship. And well, it's better for me to just simply disconnect that. Anyway, hopping out of this, and well, just come back over to the little one sitting on the ground, wherever that's gone, there it is. And it's using the hole in the ground because I attempted to fly away a Dex fighter at high speeds while attached onto the line, just slammed straight to the ground, and well, that's all that's remaining. But yes, for the actual model itself, in fact, the free camera will do a lot better at this. So over to here, yes, that's the hole right there. It's quite devastating the damage this thing can cause. Yes, for the model. At the front, we got ourselves a lovely hook. It does kind of look like a missile due to the way the tip has been shaped. There we are at the front, we got ourselves our little sort of like prongs where it penetrates through the metal, and when it pulls back, those grip in place and prevent it from getting loose. Over here is our lovely thick wire that's hooked all the way around the actual head itself, comes all the way down across to the main body, where there it is. There is the actual tether system that will unravel itself, or ravel itself up to well pull it in and let it go. Moving all the way up and looking down at the front of this thing, there we go, so we've got some heat vents for some extra bit of decoration. Then cross over to the main body, what we've got up here is our lovely little camera, or at least a fake camera, for you to look around and see what you're going to attach yourself onto. Round to the front, and onto the side. There we go, little antenna up there, so you have radio control over this. Down onto the side, there we are, we've got ourselves a little warning over here, so getting a bit closer. There we are, it says caution, moving parts. And of course round towards the back. There we go, a nice bit of detail over here, so getting a bit closer, it's kind of like a small hydrogen engine's been inserted into the back of this thing, putting my light on. That doesn't really help on the alien planet. But there we are. Then all the way down to the bottom. And there we go. Over here is kind of what I think would be where you put in a power pack. So you'd open that up, pull out a battery and shove a new one in. That's purely my imagination going with that. Anyway, coming down underneath it. There we are, there's your connection point to actually attach it onto the main base or onto your ship so you can fill it with ammunition and all of that. Then moving up and looking down. There we go. And there we are. That's that for the outside. So I suppose what I can do is I'll grab on my character once again and we go test this out a bit more. Yes, one thing this thing will not do, like I said at the very start of this video, is it will not target enemies. So getting to the ship and flying over this platform I made in the distance, as you can see, this is a space pirate platform where a bunch of them have been lined up, but no matter how long I hover around them, nothing is going to happen. They will not turn and target me, which is kind of a shame. I was kind of hoping when I built this up that they'd suddenly all ping into me while I was driving around at high speed, and I'll suddenly get slammed into the ground. But no, it will not work. You have to manually fire these things. Anyway, just moving further and further away. We'll go nice and high here. There we go. We'll go about 600 meters away. That should do quite nicely. So then hopping out of this once again and flying back over to that little platform. And I'll go and target it one more time to actually go and test this range. So here we are back on the platform, turning this all the way around. There is a deck fighter in the distance. It is 871.2 meters away, hitting it dead on. And it doesn't look like anything is going to happen. It looks like that is the limit of the range. So bring the ship a bit closer. So here we go, the ship is now 489.5 meters away, hitting it dead on once again. And there we are, nothing is going to happen, so we've got to bring it a bit closer. So here we are just under 300 meters away, aiming directly at it. There goes the line, and there we are, we're now fully attached onto that. A very clear line from the gun itself over to the Dex Fighter. I did have a cut out a big segment because it was bugging out a little bit. Like I said, this thing is still in development, and what was happening was the tether line was going straight down through the planet to the opposite side of the planet and outside the opposite end of this galaxy. Not really sure why that happened, but there we are. The range of this thing seems to be about 300 meters, which is bloody good stuff. If you want to say pick up cargo, pick up a little ship that you need to rescue off the ground, or while your ship has crashed, and now a rescue ship has come along to pick it up and take it back to base. But anyway, I can now press number 3. There we go. We now start to bring this all the way back in. And there we are, from a distance with free camera, we're now being dragged all the way towards the turret itself. But yes, if I don't want to do that, what I can do is now press number 4, and so we now just loosen up the line, there we go, all the way to -10, I grab on my character, get out of this, get into the Dex Fighter, and scoot it away. And I'm going to show you what's going to happen when I drive this away at high speeds, while being attached onto the tether itself. So driving away, here we go, 50 meters per second, 80, 100, there's the line, and now we just get flung all the way around, and now suddenly the line's gone down under the ground. I'm starting to lose a lot of control, but I managed to recover it in time. But yes, that is what was happening beforehand, which is why I had to cut out a big segment. With the free camera and actually showing you what's going on with that, wherever the Dex Fighter has gone, I'm not too sure how we keep losing these ships. Here it is, I finally found it. But there is the tether line, it comes all the way down to the bottom, and well, it just keeps going down and down and down, and whoop, does some very funky stuff. But anyway, grabbing on my character once again, time to do one more demonstration, in fact 2 more demonstrations, then I think I'll call it there, because it's very self-explanatory what it does, it's just a lot of fun, and I think more people should play around with it. Anyway, pressing number 1 again, we're going to come all the way across, and we're now going to target this little player in the distance. He's just sitting there, minding his own business, when suddenly straight to the face, out goes the line, and now he's been fully attached onto the harpoon system, or the grapple hook system. So as I grab hold of him, so hopping out this, into this character, there it is, there's the line, goes slightly under the ground, but moving away, he can now no longer escape. Doesn't matter if I use my jetpack, I'm just going to keep pinging backwards and towards the turret. There we go. And if I want to, I now just grab hold of this once again, loosen it all up. There we are. We're now going to go to -10, grab hold of him, fly away slightly more, and suddenly we get pinged back to the turret. So there we are. If you have a friend who's misbehaving or can't be trusted near a certain vehicle or a certain ship or a certain button panel on a ship, you can now grapple hook them, and well, now you can't go anywhere near it. As for that, there's only one more thing to do with this thing. What I want to do is now fully detach that, get out of this and actually destroy it so it doesn't bug out. We're going to come over to this ship in the distance, which have a grapple hook on the front, and what I'm going to do is spawn in a small vehicle, a small land vehicle, wherever one is. I think that'll do quite nicely, dropping that and putting that over here. That'll do. I say small vehicle, that's a bloody big vehicle, and I'm pretty sure I just shoved it into the ground. So doing that one more time, dropping it up, that can just now land down onto the ground, while I'm making my way over to this ship. So there's the grapple hook at the front, coming in through this very convenient window that's missing, and now we're just going to take this all the way off. Here we go. So lifting this thing off the ground, although it looks like I have lost a bunch of power at the back there. Not too sure what's happened. We're now just going up and up and up. It looks like it's not going to be enough, but that does not matter. What I want to do is now just come over to here and say grapple hook into that leg if I can. There we are, that should do quite nicely. Now I'm fully attached out of this. Now it's time to pull this thing away. So doing the best I can. Here we go. See where the leg is now moving. And now the whole vehicle is moving, being dragged along with me. If this thing had much more hydrogen, so I could actually lift this thing off the ground, I can actually drag it into the space. In fact, what we'll do is now just hop out of here, actually find out one more time. Here we go, so we've got a brand new one in here, fully fueled up and ready to go, so we can now fly this thing around properly, as you can see. So we're going to go into number 1. We're now going to turn this all the way up. Might need the raise ship up just a little bit so I can actually aim straight into it. Here we come all the way across. Now going to hit it directly into the main body. Up to here should do very nice. There we go. All the way across goes the line, straight onto it, and now we're fully attached. It looks like it is attached on that 360.8, so I'm not too sure actually the overall range of this thing. It seems to be very inconsistent, but then again it is in development, so that's probably what's going on with that. But yes, coming out of that camera, and now moving this thing all the way away. In fact, we're going to drive all the way up. Here we go. And now, what we're going to get is a very difficult lifting up process. So we can't just about get this thing off the ground, and you can see it's sort of lifting up, but it's a very, very heavy vehicle for this ship to try and handle. The point I'm just going to turn away and just drive off into the distance. Here we go. So yes, it does seem like weight matters quite a lot. So as you can see here, I am fighting quite dearly to keep this thing nice and level and away from the ground. Looking behind me, there it is right there, just being dragged along. So no matter how much I try, that thing is simply going to outweigh me. When we get over to this mountainside in the distance, which is where we're going to end this video, I should be pulled all the way down onto the ground, and well, that'll be that. So yes, at the end of the day, it's a fantastic little mod to use in your world. The overall range of this thing feels very inconsistent, but then again, it is in development. It does have a few bugs here and there, as you saw through this video. And I just highly recommend downloading it and checking it out yourself, because it is a lot of fun, especially because you can attach it onto other players and just drag them around. So here we go, we're now coming across over to the chasm in the middle, or just over this cliff edge. Down it goes all the way down, and here we go, we're now just being pulled all the way down into the ground. Can I keep this thing off? I'm not too sure if I can. No, we're just going to be pulled all the way down onto the ground, and there we are with that. For this actual tool itself, it would be very useful for just picking up land vehicles, or even just a random cargo container that you found out in the wilderness. But as it stands, picking up something very heavy with a not so good ship in terms of actual thrust power would be quite difficult to actually keep the thing attached onto in one piece, and you could risk damaging the actual ship itself trying to actually pull the stuff along. Anyway, like I said, that's that for this video. It's a fantastic little mod to use in your world. There'll be a link to it in the description below if you wish to download and play around yourself. I highly recommend you do. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.